Hi everyone, today I'll be walking you through the process that I used in order to build my application WordLearn. Meet the persona that I built for. Her name is Shelly and she's 45 years old. She works as a senior physician in a local hospital, has two school-age children, and lives in Portland, Oregon. She has very little spare time between teaching students professionally and instructing her children while they distance learn during COVID. Shelley's lacking an interactive, connected way for her kids to study while learning from home and better suggestions for her residents also. By creating a vocabulary application that does these things and is efficient, those categories will improve greatly and she'll have more time for her own lingual interests. Lack of extra time, juggling many tasks at once, and facilitating her own learning when not encouraging others or challenges she's facing. At the beginning of the process, I did a competitive analysis where I tested three vocabulary apps that I had chosen. I used Vocabulary, Atlas English, and WordUp in order to use critical thinking and to have more understanding of what was already out there. At the beginning, you can see my user flows. The entry point was to open the application, and by the end was to match words contextually to sentences and word games. My early wireframes were a little bit cluttered. There was some lack of clarity in terms of the main menus. There was a tough time discerning if you started a game, if you started at games, or you went to custom categories to build a custom game. Also, a back button was missing, which a lot of users found to be difficult. They were doing it internally anyways. The previous button at the bottom was unclear and not noticeable. Also, I was given feedback that they would like to see more continuity from page to page in terms of where the buttons were and how clear it was. I found that it was interesting to be on the outside looking at because these are things that I had used before but not things that I had personally tested. But they loved that there was a lot of opportunity for community to create games and to post to other stat boards, to share word groups so that students could study together and coworkers could study together. So my usability test plan, I picked four main tasks for somebody to test in order to find out how usable the app was. My four tasks were to complete the onboarding process, create matching games using custom groups of words, create a new deck of custom flashcards, and to share the deck with other users. We used Zoom as well as some in-person interviews, all of them being less than 15 minutes long. We used a grading scale of a 0 to 4. I found that I had a lot of ones and twos in terms of just usability, things like buttons being cohesive, back buttons, creating more clarity in those main menus, and doing things like that. Also, at the beginning with the onboarding, a better understanding of what password requirements looked like, and also the options for other existing accounts. Some feedback I was given were options to link Facebook so that there was already a community in place and so that the app could be shared with students and coworkers. Creating the option to turn the screen horizontal so that the screen would be larger and the flashcard would therefore be larger, and using a simple system such as red and green as incorrect or correct. And then also revising the custom categories into a more clear word or to eliminate it as an option altogether. So as you can see, I created some different options for presentation, a better clarity of understanding with the login instructions, creating a more cohesive back button from one to the other, and then changing the custom categories to custom flashcard library. Things I learned from designing a language learning application were to be open, to hearing feedback from others, and to not take it personally. Also, it was amazing to have a chance to connect with a community that it could truly impact and to see how people would use it. And also being reminded that perfect designs don't come the first time and that it's really great to see the evolution of things. It was a little bit difficult to not take it personal at times. There'll be lots of varied feedback, and to also leave abundant time for testing so that you have lots of material and extra individuals can be involved if you need more feedback. Thank you so much for listening.